Hi, I'm Leslie Bailey. I am the co-founder and CEO of Indy Maven and Maven Space, and I am here today with Molly Bacon from Gang Gang. Welcome, Molly.
Thank you, and good morning.
And good morning.
Yeah.
I say Gang Gang, but we know each other from like seven
Before
different
that.
things.
Yeah.
Life before Gang Gang. Do you remember that?
Wait, I'm gonna try to think
Like
out.
before.
Well, I remember we kind of like before, but when did we meet?
I don't know. I'm a rock person to ask.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never met anyone, but you were a part early on of getting Indy Maven off the ground as a board member.
I got to walk through the space and kind of point out like opportunities for visual art and visual artists. So it's really great to be here.
Which is a program that has taken off, and we have so much great local art here from just a wide variety of artists, and getting new stuff in here all the time. So thank you for that, because it's a really special part of the place. So many people know us from the Faith Blackwell series and the campaign.
Cool. Who was a Butterfly artist this year?
I saw that. Yes. So we'll get into butter in a little bit, but
Get into it.
I want to kick off. I obviously know you personally, but I think that as people grow in the spotlight, and we talk so much about butter, we're talking so much about Gang Gang, but I love following your social because I like to remember that you are also a person and a person, a whole human, just trying to do this best
out here. Yeah.
And even this morning, I'm like, oh, by the way, here are the questions. I'm going to send you these now because this is life. And I knew that I didn't have to explain to you or apologize. For sure. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I knew that you would get it when I said, great, thanks for the questions. I'm trying to figure out lashes or not. Like that, like it's the morning. Like I remember even emailing or texting you at, I don't know, a couple years ago and saying, can we start a support club? Like, what do we do for like the women that are over 40 and we're just kind of freaking out? Like, you know, it's just kind of a freak out.
Yeah.
Like if you get into, like, if you barrel down too hard or get into it or think about it too hard, like, it's just like, okay, wait, I need other people to to let me know this is all okay.
But I think if I didn't know you, I would think like, well, that's not a thing. She doesn't struggle with that. Look at her. Look at you. Always best outfit, best hair. You're doing amazing, cool things, just like owning the New York Times and stuff. Like, you know, so thank you for that reminder. So tell us a little bit about your family.
And I guess that there's something about like making it look, or it looking easier, looking like seamless or graceful or something. That is really interesting. Thank you for that. It's not. Yeah. It's wild. I have 5 teenagers and I have a whole husband with beautiful big hair, you know, like it's a whole, like that's my life, right? Like, yeah, there's like, because he's so like visible and noticeable. And so there is no such thing as like walking to the Foundry Saturday morning and people aren't like,
right,
you know, like that, like, so life has just become really beautifully wild, you know. Like we got married, we ran off to Nashville and eloped right after Butter last year. So Butter 3, about a month later, we ran off to Nashville and it was just us and it was so awesome. So we've been married for like, maybe almost 2 years, I think. And so like, okay, you know, like, so that happened and it feels like that happened on a weekend and like, that was awesome. We did that thing. Okay. We still haven't gotten to have like a wedding, like a public thing or a love celebration. So we really want to do that. But there's also, I feel like some sort of like, well, maybe maybe there's not time for that, or like I'm working too hard and when would I have time to create a love celebration? And maybe that's not important. So it's like even guilty kind of like,
I think this is
thoughts like that.
Feel good that you're asking yourself these things.
I feel really vulnerable right now, but that's, I mean, I have shame about not prioritizing myself and like even my own marriage, you know, to like stop and like do a thing.
Yeah.
Our families haven't gotten together besides the funerals that we've had. So like, anyway.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been
so intense. Yeah. So got married and that's amazing. And he's like the most amazing person, but like working with him is quite layered. So that's really interesting. And together we have 5 children, 5 teenagers. Moity, it's weird that like they're at school and we're here working. And yeah, that's our life. You know, like that's what we have going on. Like I want to be very present in high school because it's almost over. Like these are my daughters, you know, like they're beautiful and amazing, and I'm supposed to shape them. I'm supposed to like raise them and all of it. So that's what we're working on. And also there's gang.
Also, there's that.
Also there's gang.
They're like baby. Well, having a business.
Sixth.
Yeah, it's your sixth.
Yeah. This is Alan and I's like, it is like, this is the thing that we made. Yeah. In 2020, like literally it felt like Indianapolis and maybe even like our own hearts or something were just like it was getting louder and louder. Indianapolis like literally knocking and emailing and calling and saying what should happen. Like what do we do? Because I had been, you know, talking about diversity in the arts for my whole career, you know, like begging people to write DEI plans, you know, and then here's 2020 and everyone's like, wait, what were you saying? Yeah, like, wait, you said that. Okay, so what should happen? And I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, exactly. But at that point, it's like, well, it's too late to write a plan now.
Yeah.
Like people are getting killed outside, you know, so like we have to act, we have to do. And so like Gang was kind of birthed out of that sense of urgency for doing something right now, like, you know, equity in action. And yeah, it was I guess it was the second thing we did. We started Advanced 317 at the Indy Chamber.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a neat thing that we like co-founded together as colleagues, but still in this effort to spotlight the creative economy. So,
and I don't think I knew, is that how you met? Working together as colleagues?
Yeah, we actually met in Nashville on Lex, the leadership exchange trip that Indy Chamber does every year, where they send out like 100 delegates from Indianapolis to go study another city and then bring best practices here. And so I had gone to a few. Brian Payne actually invited me to my first one in Cologne. So that was really wonderful. And then they invited me to come to the Nashville trip, and Alan was there, and we were I was probably the youngest Black woman. I mean, there were few of us there anyway. And so we're like, okay, Janet Artle was like, you guys need to meet. You guys are saying the same things about like young professionals and the arts and diversity and like needing to integrate that into the private sector, you know, more. And so after that one, they invited us to start a program specifically for professionals under 40, people in arts administration, culturalists, like people like me, you know, cultural entrepreneurs who could also be members at Indy Chamber and who also are studying cities, you know, and have valuable information for our own. So that's what we were doing, and we got to start that, and it was awesome.
And he was from here?
Yeah, he was from here, and I had
just your passive.
No, I've never met him.
Yeah, so you have Indy Chamber to thank for your marriage.
Indy Chambers, Indy Chamber hosts our marriage. Those wedding, yeah,
sponsor their wedding.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's so cool. I never knew that. Okay, so when I was going, my next question was going to be like, what's it like working with your husband? You already kind of knew what it was like to work with him. Obviously, not as your husband,
right?
As someone that you were,
very different. Yeah.
So how has that relationship evolved?
Yeah. So there are kind of two. So working with him, like we have very different work styles. So I have been described as neurotic, and I'm becoming okay with that even. But like I like everything in place, you know, and I need a list for the week and the day, you know, and a long term one too. And so just like I am just kind of like that. Alan is an artist, and Alan, his brain works so much more beautifully than mine, and it's more open and vast, and it can go around and take layers. Yeah. It's not much.
It's beauty and organization that the other type A person defends.
Thank you. I think so. I mean, gosh, there's so much beauty and structure. So we are different in that way, but they, you know, collaborate and collide in the best way.
Right.
But so that's like work style. Working with him means that we are able to work all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like we can accomplish a decade's worth of work in 3 years.
Is that problematic there?
And it's also, we are always working.
No more work.
We're always working. And so we have to say like, Like, and he's great about it. He's like, we're not working today after 6, or yeah, no, I don't, that, nope, not, and I'm like, are you sure? But we still have this thing. And then then I will get to the point where I need hours or like a weekend, or I'll say, I can't be in Indianapolis this weekend. Like, we have to leave because I can't breathe, and if I'm in Indy, I'm working. So yeah, the boundaries maybe go away because we're working together, because we can always like get right to new ideas.
Yeah.
And we don't have to
Wait for someone to respond to your email.
when I can say right away, like, that's awesome. If we did that, then this would happen. Or that's not awesome. We don't need to explore.
Yeah.
Don't send the email.
Yeah.
So like, it's really bittersweet maybe.
Yeah.
Or a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But mostly great. But to him.
So you mentioned earlier, like a little bit of shame about not prioritizing yourself, which is a whole nother, I feel like, conversation, because we could go deep into that. But when you are able to find that time, like, what works for you? You mentioned getting out of town, right? Yeah. So travel and just a change of scenery, change of pace. What else kind of helps you rejuvenate and continue on doing what you're doing without?
Quiet, not having people I know around, being anonymous. I feel so, like, I feel really great when this is so weird. Does this sound like I'm not anonymous anymore? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you are. That's just part of doing something big and cool, right?
In a city that is
A big little city.
a big little city. Yeah. So even like, just, being here just even reminds me of what I could or should be doing. So I need quiet. I need like a change of scenery. I need to be, I need to be in a place where I don't have to make decisions, where I don't have to like talk. I'm constantly talking now. I've never talked this more and for a full day, and have had to like take ideas or thoughts and articulate them right away into something for other people. Like that, like having to do that so often has really been a change.
Yeah.
And so rest for me is like untraining the brain to like have to come up with something. And so just being in a place where there's nothing around, and maybe something that's bigger than me, like the ocean, something that can just kind of remind me of my perspective, and just kind of say everything's okay. The water's still here.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I mean, I know, I like a massage now and then, because again, that's quiet and I don't have to talk to anybody, right? But even when people are like, oh, going to eat your nails, and like, oh my gosh, with so much conversation, that's exhausting. I just don't anymore. I feel that.
Oh my gosh. I think that's a thing, actually. Like, I don't want to get my nails done anymore. I don't want to take the time, and I don't want to sit there, and it's not that great of an experience anymore. And I do not care about our nails.
No,
just to say.
I have no offense to nail artists, because there are some people doing some beautiful nail work. Yeah, it's just not the season of life, at least.
Yeah, I think there's a shit.
Feel that.
Yeah. I love nail art though. Like I'm into it, but there's certainly something going on.
Yeah. I think it comes. So I heard on a podcast yesterday, the phrase like functional freeze. So essentially, where you are not burning out, but at the end of the day, you just have to turn off, right? So that's where you're just doing the binging of Netflix. It's like, but you're also, maybe you're answering the email, maybe you're doing the thing. You're on the inside, you're dead. No, but you're frozen, right? And I thought, oh, that's a really interesting concept of like, I can no longer make another decision. So I am just off. I am turning the off button. I might still be like getting up and moving around, but I think there's this hidden state that maybe a lot of women, especially are in, where we are functioning, but like, are we feeling the joy? Are things lighting us up? So
I think that is, it could be, last Saturday, it was last Saturday. I think that's how I felt. I actually did feel kind of frozen. I was wanting to have a Saturday, but still needing to like do the events, like be out. And we were at something, and someone, came up to me and she said, the Festival of Black Joy was so wonderful. And I said, yeah, it was lovely. And she said, well, why aren't you more excited? Aren't you proud? And I said, yes. I said it was wonderful. And like, I realized something's not translating to, like, she needs me to be more excited. And also, like, I need to be just able to talk about work and the impact of any program at any time. And I kind of had to tell her, it's Saturday and this is a work conversation, and I'm kind of trying to have a Saturday right now. Yeah. But I think it's what you're like, it's a frozen is a really interesting word, because like inside I'm not dead or screaming, but I'm like taking care of myself on the inside.
That's like a protection. That's
yes. I'm saying like, we're doing this. It's okay. Like, we're going to go soon and just chill here. Maybe go get a drink. And so like that's happening on the inside, but on the outside, I'm still saying it's lovely.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. There's, I think, there's the whole people's expectations of how you're going to react to something. But I understand that too, when you're not working maybe a 9-to-5 corporate job and your job is all the time. I go out to dinner, and even my dear friends, like, how's work? How are things? Maybe, and I'm like, oh, I just go, it's fine. I don't want to talk about that. Right. It's not because there's anything wrong. I literally would rather talk about anything.
Yeah, but it's not that it's not the coolest
thing. I don't think it's the best.
Awesome. Of course.
You see that.
Of course. But now do it like cheese. Let's talk about like wine. Let's talk about a meal, or like travel, or just something obscure, Yeah.
So do you have time? Like, do you have time to read a book or like listen to it like right now? Or is that just, again, not the season? Correct.
How can I say both? I have to save myself by having those other things. And I guess I am thankful right now. I'm thinking Alan, like purposefully, says like, hey, let's stop and read. And we are so into the Bible right now. It is a thrilling book.
Go on.
It's a thrilling book about like how much God loves us. Like, and if you read it as an adult and just like take away, I don't know, just kind of like strip some things away, it is a thrilling book. And so I am enjoying the moments that I get to read that. I'm thankful for him like offering that intentional pause. And I'm thinking of my friend Keisha, who I haven't responded to her text, but she's asking me to take 2 days and write, which I'm desperate for. I've been begging to write for years, since Gang started. I need to write this down. I'm a writer.
Yeah.
But I'm like too busy to even write it down. It's wild. And so like, she's like, when can we take the 2 days? When can you come to Chicago for 2 days? And so it's kind of happening.
Okay. So back to your family. So you have 4 girls.
Yeah. Okay. 1 sophomore son.
So obviously we're all about female empowerment here. And what is your wish for all of your children, but specifically girls? Because I know you said like that challenge of am I present and I'm here? And I mean, without ever having heard a word out of their mouths, know they're proud of you. And I know that they see you doing these amazing things. So don't ever question that for a second. But
I embarrass them. Just my existence embarrasses them.
Yeah. But like, what's your hope for them? What's your wish for them?
I'm kind of sad that when you asked that, my first thought was safety. It's kind of a sad, like, I hope that if I could, one like basic need, one baseline thing for the rest of their lives, like as women, like, they must be kept safe. I also hope that they believe me when I tell them they actually they can do anything. They can do anything they want. They are brilliant and they're creative and they have like everything available to them. And like, I don't think they know. I don't think like teenagers generally realize, but even our girls, like, you should start a club. Like you can start a program. Like you can start a law. Like you can do anything. Like we have two that could go to the Olympics. Like they are, they're magical beings. And I hope that they believe that. I hope that they, will learn that, like, sooner than later so that they can use it for, for themselves and for our family, for like their kids and the people around them. And yeah, I hope they can start owning it so that they can like do good.
It's so special. You're such a good mom.
Okay, thank you.
That's something. It's a good mom. Like,
Okay.
I mean, truly. And I do think, and you're going to, I think, in your guest editor issue for Indy Maven, touch on this, but you talked about safety, right?
Yeah.
And in the world we live in today. And I think this is an interesting time.
Yes.
Right?
And they're driving now.
Well, also that, right?
So it's like just unsafe driving, but also like, yeah, like there's so many different layers of safety, like physically, but also like, yeah, in society, but, and also like just other people. I mean, and even mindsets and like messages and beauty rules.
And how do you protect them from all of that?
Yeah,
Right.
like safety of like their identity, even, and like what they think about their hair and volume, like all of it.
You actually answered one of the questions I wanted to ask you was like, life when they're littles. Like I've still got little guys, but this is all about, at first it was just keeping them alive, right? And then now mine just started first grade at a new school. And it's like, are the kids going to be mean to him? Is he going to have friends? Is he going to get hurt? Is he going to fall? Is somebody going to hit him? I don't know, right? You see about that. And so my question was going to be, how has that changed the challenges of motherhood? But I guess the answer is you're always worried about their safety. It's just different.
Oh, yeah.
Types.
I mean, now I don't even know if it's better or worse. I mean, they're driving cars.
Right.
Like imagine your first grader driving a car on the street. Right. It doesn't make any sense. And they're all doing that. Yeah. Well, all but one. The sophomore's not driving yet. And so you just worry. And then like even the thought of them going to college, what is that? How will they do it? Like how will they be there? What are they going to eat? Just all of it. How does this work? So yeah, the worry doesn't change. And like high school parties, like they're real. Yeah. Like they do everything there at some of the parties.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Yeah, they didn't do those things in high school.
I did. I will fill you in.
Okay. So like the thing, like it's all real.
Yeah. Okay. So butter coming up.
Yeah, butter.
How many days? Is it just
21 days, I think. It's on the 29th and today is the 8th.
So you have back to school and butter back to back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Life must just be crazy.
In between, I don't know, maybe we'll cut this, but like Gang has been asked to come live stream from the DNC, which happens like, 2 weeks or a week or something. And so now I'm like, okay, we've got 21 days from today. School started today. Okay. So I think everything should be fine with that.
They're fine. They're all fine.
Colleges, we got to figure out where they're going to go now. Okay. So that, and then DNC and then safety, right? Like, should that happen? What does that look like? And then the 4th edition of butter, launches. I mean, for us, it's that whole week, But yeah, that's happening. And it's wild. And I can't believe that there is a legitimate art fair that Indianapolis is known for. Like now, like nationally, Labor Day weekend in Indianapolis is like becoming synonymous. Like you can find art in Indianapolis Labor Day weekend is becoming a message across the nation. Like that is wild. We have changed trajectories, like we've changed lives, like economic, like generational wealth, like artists are full-time now. There are people that were hobbyists. There's someone who was employed at Lilly as a scientist and is now a full-time working artist. Like it's incredible the talent that Indianapolis has, and it's incredible what's been able to like be created and supported. in such a short time.
Yeah.
And that our tourism bureau is like proud of it, and that we can use it to kind of re-narrate central Indiana. So yeah. And I love that it's called butter.
Just as an aside, because
Yeah, it's not called like, you know, the Indianapolis, whatever, for how to whatever.
why is it called butter?
To be more like, to be more welcoming, you know, to be more like inviting, and because it's already familiar to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody already has a relationship with at least the word, and it's comforting to most, and it makes everything better, right? You know, it's butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah.
On everything with everything.
So when is the moment? Has there been a moment yet where you have felt like, I made it? I did it.
Made it?
I've made it. I mean, you have, like, okay, you just mentioned an invitation to DNC. You've been in the New York.
I'll just say no now. No, not at all. Not
Do you
not
ever will be? Or do you have a goal? In
Yeah,
mind
for
that's
sure
like,
there will be. Yeah.
What's that? What's
Somebody,
that?
can you? I need a Billy. A Billy. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
I think we need to talk about that more as women. So, I mean, also,
Dollar amount. So if I think about success, I've always, not always, but I don't know, maybe for my first 30 years, I thought, if I can go to the Grammys or to the Oscars and wear whatever I want, I will have made it. Like, if I can wear whatever,
such a specific.
it's so specific, but if I can like Beyonce could come in, you know, like an amazing pair of jeans. She could come in whatever she wants. She's made it.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I always have that in my mind. I still haven't even been invited to the Grammys, so.
Are we expecting an invitation?
Hello? Yes.
Can I just say, I think you might be on the way there, because I'm not just saying this, legitimately looked at photos of you and been like, she just wears whatever she wants to anything and look good. I have absolutely had that exact specific thought. So already made it. It is. So what is different or exciting that we should know about this year for butter?
Oh man. Well, so you know there is a car museum at the Stutz already, obviously. We, in addition to a completely new exhibition hall, you might have noticed a building turned pink on Capitol recently. But in addition to like the fabulousness that will happen on the exhibition floor, and this is our first time actually having flown work in from overseas. I'm very excited about a Nigerian artist that will be represented this year. But besides that, we are taking a very innovative approach to the car museum that already exists at the Stutz. And we're going to replace the cars with like lowriders and like everything you love about the 90s. Yeah. Like the whole mood of butter this year is unconquerable love. And so it's all about like mono comfort and culture and like joy and laughter to the max, and imagery that kind of brings up comfort and love and like just like ease. So we think of Saturday mornings, we think of cereal, we think of cartoons, we think of cruising, we think of gold earrings, you know, we think of Saturdays. And so that's what we've got 21 days to make that at butter. 21 more days.
So you've been working on it longer than that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And there's a huge, amazing team. Shout out to them.
Not to stretch here, but I think it's really interesting that you just talked about wanting your Saturday and to not think about work, and you wanted the ease of Saturday.
I think I might cry because I'm forcing it into.
Well, I think you're bringing this into existence, right?
Is it because I'm not making room?
Might be on my pay grade, but we can talk about it more.
I think I'm trying to make it for everyone.
I think what you want is the world to feel what a good Saturday feels. I think that's what you want. That's what we all need, right? We all, right.
Well, that's what we have. The thing about, but like, we're trying to show people like what we are, like the only reason we're kind of okay is because of love as a sustaining factor. Like, that's the only reason we're all kind of okay. We've all collectively experienced some very traumatic, you know, like life altering moments just in the last 5 years.
some than others, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, we all need Saturday, but we all have access to an unconquerable love. And so like that's what we want people to feel, and I think you're absolutely right. Like I want more of it, and it's what I'm holding on to. And so it's all I have to offer to everybody else.
What more could I possibly ask you? Such a perfect conclusion to this conversation, unless there's anything that we didn't touch on. But
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's been
You and your life. I don't
it's the same. I don't know.
We need each other. Yes,
we do. We need that support group. And, and that's like what I hope happens. And I would like in the next, iteration of whatever Maven things do, right, is like how to even be more intentional about making that space for this, right? Because we've got a beautiful space, and it happens organically. And I love when I see those connections. I love when I see someone, when women are hugging and even if there's tears and there's conversation, or they're like high-fiving on a project or whatever it is. Like I get to see when people ask me like what keeps you going, it's like those moments of magic. That's why a lot of times I want to work from home, because right, this is my office. It's easier sometimes for me to work out. Everybody else gets more done here, I get less. But I've noticed I miss those magical moments, right? And that is what we are here for. So I hope that we can create that support group or whatever that looks like. Right?
Well, you've created it.
Yeah, I think we just need to make sure that we show up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that it's not one more thing that I actually was talking about starting a book club, because we had so many requests for that. And a friend said, well, do you want that to be a part of your work though? Why don't you just go join a book club? And then why don't you let someone else run the book club? Like, Maven should have a book club, but does that have to be you that runs it? And that was such a right, like it became a moment where I was like, oh right, because then that's more work.
Exactly.
But then also you just show it, and I will have to be a part of it. But that whole concept of maybe you don't have to be the one. Yeah. So there are things, and now here's more questions coming. But like, how do you, because we don't do this alone, and that's the other big secret, right? When especially women, and we look at other women and think that she's doing it all.
Right. No, she's got women behind her.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about what does your like ecosystem look like? What does your support system look like?
Yeah. Oh, and I'll just use the lens of women. I mean, gosh, my mother and my grandmother and my aunts, right? Like they are before me. They are foundation for me, like I am my mom, and I talk to my grandmother who's been gone for, I don't know, 7 years. I talk to her all the time. I wear her brooch to keep her close to me. So like women and my ancestors, like my lineage is really grounding for me. Yeah. And then of course I think about like who's beside me. I think about my sisters, my familial sisters, but also my best friends. Like I've got, just a few really wonderful women, who are, it's butter season. So one of them is asking, do you have a room where you can, did your team set up a room at Butter so that you can be alone or so that you can cry if you need to? Do I need to come to Butter this year? And the other one, I can't come to Butter for the first time. I have a wedding, but I'm sending, so there are people beside me. And then, gosh, there's Carrie, and there's Deanna, and there's Bridget, and there's Truly, there's Simone, there's all these women that are making it happen. We're in the world. Like we have we are inspirers and healers, and we're intuitive, and like we're getting it done, and yeah, absolutely nothing happens in a silo. Like we can't connect with another person alone. Like this has to come by way of collaboration. And so like, and there's good in that part too. Like the process is almost just as good as the outcome, because like, that's where you get to be with women, be with others and build each other. And like that's where the growth is. So I'm very thankful for, the people behind me that kind of made me. I'm very thankful for who's around me. And I'm really thankful for, there's even a couple people who come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you for what you do. And I don't even know who they are. And so like, while that makes me very socially anxious, it also makes me keep going because women and girls are watching and we can do anything. And so I'll do it until I can't.
So many mic drops. And you had me tearing up at that because I thought, how special. Oh my gosh, I don't ever cry. This is so weird.
I'm not either, but like there's something happens.
How special to have someone in your life that not just like checks in and says, how are you, but is thinking proactively, preemptively, what will she need?
Right.
Do you have that room?
Right.
Do you have that space? Do you have a meal? Do you have something planned after? Who's taking care of your kids? Because it is so easy to forget that no one is doing this alone.
Yeah.
And then we shame ourselves, or why am I not putting on a festival completely on my own and also managing 5 kids? But like, because you're not, right? But what a gift to have people in your world who not only are just checking on you, right? Yeah. But how are you is nice. The text is nice. But that extra step of anticipating what someone you love might need, like that's definition of love right there. So when you talk about that feeling, that butter comfort feeling, those are the things to hold on to. Yeah. And I just think that's so special.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll end there before we both completely unravel, and it's not even 10 o'clock. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. It's so nice to just even get to know you better. And I know that the people watching will really enjoy and appreciate that. Thank you for your vulnerability. Like I think it's my mission, right? As we move forward into 2025. I don't know why I'm not that person who's usually I'm an Aquarius, so of course I'm always future seeking, but like also I think there's something that is going to be really powerful more than ever about women coming in the next year. And we've really touched on some things that are going to be critical to that. And so thank you for carrying that torch and continuing this conversation. And I hope we get to do it again.
Cheers. Yeah.
Good luck. Cheers. Thanks for hearing me.
Yeah.
First grade. What?
Yeah. We got this.
Okay. Yeah. Sure we do. We have no other choice.
Yeah. Right? We have to do it.
Yeah.